Oh, hello, my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of your interactive English class, the show with no name. So hold on to your hats, because it's time for liftoff.
10,
Let's
9,
get going.
8, 7,
6,
5,
4, 3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1, 0.
Is there an echo?
Ignition.
Echo?
Liftoff.
Here we go, amigos.
30 minutes after the hour.
We are Audi. Yes, una marca de coche, pero también es out of here.
Hold on to your hats.
We are Audi. Nos vamos.
Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time.
On Vaughn Radio. Come on. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Come on. Let's get pumped. Vamos a motivarnos. Let's get psyched. Motivar, mentalizar. As an American, it's my duty. Come on. Buen americano. Mi deber. To get pumped. To get psyched. To get stoked. So welcome all of you show with no namers who are ready to rock and roll for the next 2 hours. Learn English, laugh, make friends. And today, we're going to hear from some truly brave students, valientes. So give it up for your classmates, Anix, Cristina Chicago, Chris Valrol, Daniela Marisol, Elena Alfonso, and Nuria. Wow, lots of participation this week. It's great to see everybody excited about practicing their English. And I'm telling you, if you do, I know most of you do a lot more speaking than that. But if that's the only speaking you do every week, okay, you should be doing more. But I'll take what I can get. This is a way you force yourself, te obligas. And you've got to explain yourself. You don't just, in this section say, I like ice cream. You got to tell us why you like ice cream, right? So that is the question of the week. So really looking forward. I can give you also next week's question of the week if you're ready for it. Well, I'm sure you are, because we're done with this one. No more. I don't accept any submissions on Friday. Next week, are you more of a DIY person or call the guy person? Jamal, okay? And you got to explain yourself too. So something goes wrong, you have a problem, maybe one of your toilets doesn't stop flushing, it gets stuck or something. Instantly, what do? Do you go for the toolbox? Vas a por las herramientas, and you get down there on your knees and you get your hands dirty? Or do you instantly say, does anybody know a good plumber? So, of course, there are certain things you want to leave in the hands of professionals, but also DIY, do it yourself, bricolaje, as you call it, has become more and more popular because, labor, esto es lo que pagamos por el servicio, no the parts are different, las piezas, like if you go to a mechanic, one thing is the labor, no, eso es el mano de obra, you call it, the labor. And another thing is the parts. Well, if you can save money on labor, now we've all seen how this can backfire as well. Salir por la culata, right? We've all, I can fix this, and you've made it worse. So again, there are certain things you just have to call the guy. The guy can be the girl as well. But it's lo típico. We got to call the guy, whatever goes wrong. So are you more of a DIY person? Bricolaje, te lo arreglas tú, or are you instantly looking at your phone list or asking around saying, does anybody know a good plumber, electrician? I don't know, you can even find people who are like fix-it people, right? Fix-it, or como manitas, we would say, que lo arreglan todo. So you can tell us that. And remember, keep it at around a minute. and introduce yourself, and you can send that 1-minute audio to my email address. This way you have the whole weekend to work on it as well. The email address is aalonso@grupovon.com. And as always, we look forward to hearing from you. All right, time for our first challenge, folks. It's the Say What soundbite. Come on.
Say what? What?
All right, my amigos, it is time for the Say What soundbite here on the show with No Name. Just a quick reminder to mark your calendars. October 7th, we are kicking off our trivia night once again. It's October 7th. It's 8 p.m. And again, you can get all the details if you're following us on social media. But this month, well, not this month, next month, October, it's going to be the first time that Jules Linares hosts the show. So we're all looking forward to her style, her energy, and we're all going to be there to support her as well, to make sure it goes off without a hitch. Que vaya todo sin problema. Obviously, it's going to be fine. But it's always good when I know it as somebody who gets in front of audiences, que he estado delante de muchos públicos, and it's always very reassuring when you look out there and you connect with people that you know, and they're looking at you like, you got it, good job. They give you a nod, some kind of thing that reassures you that you're doing a good job. So we'll be there. I hope you guys can make it. Those of you who live in Madrid, you have no excuses. It's a Tuesday night. You'll be home by 10:30. It ends. Usually it's about a 2-hour event because it's a weeknight. But I think all of us are really looking forward to it for several reasons. Number one, first time Jules Linares has ever done it. So we're looking forward to supporting her. And number two, we haven't had a Vaughn Radio Trivia Night since June. So a few months there in the summer, well, Madrid empties out. I love it. I personally love Madrid in the summer. Okay. I also have to put it in context. In my community, in my housing development, we have a pool. And it's usually not too busy, which is great. That means a lot of people go to the beach or wherever. What I always say at the end of the summer, I'm like, Madrileños, you can stay at the beach if you want. You don't have to come back to Madrid. Because then September, you start to notice the traffic. Restaurants are all packed. The outdoor terraces, las terrazas. All right, so today's Say What soundbite, an extremely famous individual. An individual who is so famous that he now is cast, y esto es from the credits, as himself, como sí mismo. Yeah, that's right. All right, so here it is. I'm going to give it to you for the first time, and then we can discuss what you heard in your own words. Hopefully, before the end of the show and after the third or fourth listen, I say third because some of you get it on the third listen, you'll be able to give it to me word for word. This is a listening exercise. It's an exercise on taking dictation, on summarizing information you've heard. So it's got, we're working many, many different aspects over here. All right, here it is for the first time.
No one had ever stood up to me like that before. I respected him from there on out.
That's a great story, Grandpa. I didn't like it.
None of my grandchildren had ever disliked one of my stories before.
Alberto, estoy leyendo un cómic y me estoy dando cuenta de que todas las onomatopeyas que salen son verbos en inglés.
Of course, man. We love making it easy.
Por ejemplo, aquí pone chomp. Y está un animal masticando.
Sure, to chomp.
Es mascar, ¿no?
Sí, mascar. Y lo haces con tus piños. Your chompers.
Ah, chompers es los piños grandotes, ¿no? Vale, y to click, por ejemplo.
To click. Well, to click is what you do on a computer. You click. Pinchar.
Perfecto, pinchas con el ratón. Claro, tiene sentido. To gulp.
Well, before I was gulping my soda. Gulp, 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 gulp.
Claro, estás tragando como un pato.
Eso es, no es lo mismo que sip. Sorber.
Bien. To thump.
Thump. Don't thump your fist on the table. No des un pum, pum en la mesa.
De hecho, el conejito de Bambi se llamaba Thumper.
Eso es, todo tiene sentido en inglés.
Claro que sí, por eso hemos hecho el tercer libro de This Book is the Milk, que se llama This Book is the Shit. Este libro es la leche. Por Alberto Alonso
Y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender. Y lo sabes.
And you know it. You can pick up This Book is the Shit at Von Tienda or wherever fine books are sold. If you don't have it, get your hands on a copy, un ejemplar, because I guarantee you are going to laugh out loud as you learn. All right, let's kick off our second challenge of the show, today's Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop Quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on, sing it with me. Pop, 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 pop. You can do a remix. Get up, get up. Let's go. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right. Welcome to our pop quiz. This is where we take a look at one of the many amazing materials that you can find at vontienda.com. Remember, the website is Von Tienda, and we've got everything you need, and you can get it delivered right to your house. Also, if you live in Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, shout out to Anix, and also Born to Iron Man out in the Valencia area. Love it there. My daughter keeps asking me, when are we going back to Valencia? I'm like, hey, we could live there. I personally love Valencia. Santander, what a beautiful place. And Zaragoza, La Pilarica. The amazing thing is I've been to all of these cities and I have nothing but positive things to say about all of these cities. And I remember, Valladolid, I hadn't heard much about Valladolid when I went there. So I had my expectations were quite low. It blew me away. I had some of the greatest snacks, picoteo, these kind of little tapas, pinchos, some excellent wine. And wow, it exceeded my expectations. And I can say that about Vigo. Santander is, again, just gorgeous. Bilbao. I mean, Bilbao, what a city, what an amazing place, and what a transformation it's undergone, the river area. So just, I know that the decisions are not made based on beautiful cities, but they're based on, okay, how many people need to speak English there? Are there multinational companies? I'm sure there are many different factors that go into deciding where we're going to branch out. Diversificar, abrir sucursales. But I think we're doing pretty good. We've got some really gorgeous places all around Spain. So if you live in one of those cities and you haven't stopped by, no nos has hecho una visita, what are you waiting for? We'd love to meet you. Tell us, a little bit about yourself, what you need English for. And again, the moment you say, I listen to Vaughn Radio, it's like we already know each other. Right? Because they know that you get it. You know what we do. You know the Vaughn method, and you want to find out more about it. Again, even if you don't want to sign up for anything or pick up any materials, you can get a free level test. You won't be charged at all. We do that as a courtesy. In fact, you have to do a level test in order to be placed correctly, unless you're having private classes. And even then, they do a level test to check out, what we need to work on, your strengths, your weaknesses, and all that jazz. All right, amigos. So today we're going to take a look at those friends that are, well, the ones that tend to throw us off. Nos desconciertan, nos engañan. I'm talking about false friends. Oh, man, false friends. But I'll tell you what. Here's the good news. There is a ray of light. Hallelujah, people. And that ray of light is, there are probably 50, okay? 50 in common use. So what does that mean? Once you learn them, it kind of got them out of the way. And we've got them all here in a material called False Friends en Inglés, okay? False Friends en Inglés que deberías conocer. It's one of our que deberías conocer collection, because we've got phrasal verbs que deberías conocer, expresiones en inglés que deberías conocer. And yesterday we looked at conjunctions, same, the ones you need to know. So what's the best way to get around these false friends, to avoid them, evitarles at all costs? Know them like the back of your hand. Like they say, keep your enemies close and keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Well, the same thing, hay que familiarizarse con estas palabras que engañan, such as fabric. Fabric no es fábrica, right? But guess what? There's another way to remember it. Planta, a plant, a power plant. So sí que la palabra planta sí que se puede hacer así. Pero fábrica, we already know. In English, fabric is tela, right? Vaya tela. You love that. You guys love that in Spain. Os encanta what fabric? Vaya tela. In English, that would be, oh, my Lord, or my God, my goodness. No, madre mía. We don't say mother of mine. Well, at least I haven't heard it out there. So let's familiarize ourselves with some of these false friends from False Friends in Inglés que deberías conocer, available at Vaughn Tienda for $9.95. It's a steal, un chollazo. And let's listen to it now. And I will have some challenges for you afterwards.
False friend. College no significa
Colegio. La matrícula universitaria es bastante cara en Estados Unidos.
college tuition is quite expensive in the US.
Ella se cambió de colegio 3 veces cuando era pequeña.
She changed schools 3 times when she was a child.
Él dio clases de refuerzo a estudiantes universitarios.
He tutored college students.
Agentes de policía visitan colegios para educar a los niños en la seguridad vial.
Police officers visit schools to educate the kids about road safety.
En Gran Bretaña, los institutos de formación profesional ofrecen programas de carpintería.
In Britain, carpentry courses are offered in local colleges.
Mis hijos faltaron al colegio ayer.
My kids missed school yesterday. False friend. Commodity no significa
Comodidad. El petróleo se considera un producto básico.
crude oil is considered a commodity.
Para su comodidad, todas nuestras tiendas abren las 24 horas al día.
For your convenience, all our shops are open 24/7.
Muchos países del tercer mundo carecen de productos básicos como el agua.
Many third world countries lack commodities such as water.
Para mayor comodidad, la empresa ha ofrecido 2 posibles fechas.
For convenience, the company has offered 2 possible dates.
El agua es el producto básico más preciado.
Water is the most precious commodity.
Vivir cerca de la casa de mis padres es una comodidad.
Living near my parents' house is a convenience. False friend. Complexion no significa
Complexión. La gente de Japón tiene la tez clara.
people from Japan have a light complexion.
La complexión del paciente es estándar para su edad.
The patient's build is standard for his age.
El maquillaje era demasiado oscuro para su cutis.
The makeup was too dark for her complexion.
Él parece mayor por su complexión fuerte.
He looks older because of his strong constitution.
Él nunca ha tenido problemas de acné, así que tiene una tez muy clara.
He's never had acne problems, so he has a very clear complexion.
Mi hermano es de complexión atlética.
My brother has an athletic build. False friend, compositor, no significa.
Compositor. Hoy en día apenas quedan tipógrafos.
Nowadays, there are hardly any compositors left.
Stravinsky fue un gran compositor.
Stravinsky was a great composer.
La tecnología ha sustituido a los tipógrafos.
Technology has replaced compositors.
Ella es compositora y se especializa en música cinematográfica.
She's a composer and she specializes in film music.
Mi abuelo trabajaba de tipógrafo en una imprenta.
My grandfather worked as a compositor at a printer's.
Ella es una talentosa música y compositora.
She's a gifted musician and composer. False friend, comprehensive, no significa.
Comprensivo. Ella tiene un amplio conocimiento en cocina.
She has comprehensive knowledge of cooking.
Mis padres son muy comprensivos.
My parents are very understanding.
Él elaboró un informe muy detallado para su jefe.
He drew up a very comprehensive report for his boss.
Demasiados directores no son lo suficientemente comprensivos con sus equipos.
Too many managers are not understanding enough with their teams.
El grupo de investigadores llevó a cabo un estudio exhaustivo sobre el comportamiento animal.
The group of researchers did a comprehensive study on animal behavior.
Solo te pido que seas un poco más comprensivo con ellos.
I'm only asking you to be a little more understanding with them.
All right, there you go, amigo. Some really good ones. And as you see, you've got them all with examples. We all know the importance of using the different things we learn, whether it's false friends, phrasal verbs, idiomatic expressions. The key is to use them in context. A, to make sure you're using them correctly, and B, why not? Why not use them the way you're going to use them instead of just learning random words? You know, it makes more sense to place them into their correct place. That's what we always do. That's the whole personalizing thing, where I say, okay, how would you, maybe somebody else would use, tengo el cutis muy mal, but maybe somebody else would say, bueno, siempre he tenido el cutis, actually, I don't even know. Es piel de la cara. I don't know if it's el o la. See, I'm going to learn some stuff here too. All right, let's see what I want from you guys here in today's pop quiz. The first one, I want you to use producto primario. Okay, now what makes these goods, porque goods son productos, bienes, goods, right? What makes these goods have a special name? Why are they primarios? Okay, in English, I can tell you the term is used for ones that are interchangeable. They're traded, right? So what does that mean? That means that their value fluctuates. It goes up and down, okay? So producto primario, I didn't know it. Not to be confused with raw materials. Raw materials, okay, well, if I'm going to make a house, I need wood. I need, all the different parts. Similar, because those raw materials can be productos primarias. They don't have to be, pero para no liarnos con el producto bruto, que sería raw materials. This is like, for example, oil, right? How much is a barrel? Cualquier cosa que tiene un mercado. Think about it. Sugar is another one. Gold, corn, natural gas is also considered one. Let's see, what else? Livestock, so pork and beef, ganado, animales, wheat, corn, soybeans, cotton, coffee, sugar, rice, cocoa beans. These are all productos de primaria. And there are certain people, I don't know, I'm no expert here, who say that these big soda brands now are pushing the zero sugar versions, because the zero sugar equals 75 other chemicals, but they're pushing the zero sugar thing, because I notice it now. You go into an office and there's a vending machine, and 7 of them are Coca-Cola zero, zero sin cafeína, zero this, and only one is the normal one. And well, some people say it's because they don't really fluctuate, right? Those ingredients. But sugar, however, goes up or down. We've already seen it during wartime, and that means it affects your bottom line, tu balance, tus ingresos. So there's that theory that they're removing sugar, a lot of sugar, and saying it's healthy and no sugar because, well, that also helps the product at least be more stable, right? The pricing, the profit that you make. All right, the next one is cutis. That's right. So the first one, producto primario. The second one is cutis. And the third one, give us a false friend of yours. One that maybe you used to make a mistake with, but not anymore. And this way we can see a range of different false friends as well. So number one, producto primario, use it in context. I just gave you a couple examples of some. The next one, cutis, so the skin on your face, more specifically. And the third one is a wild card. A wild card, un comodín. You can do whichever one you want for part 3. And folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. So stick around. Welcome back. Welcome back, my amigos. This is part 2 of today's show with No Name. I see we've got a lot of students participating. Awesome. Thank you, show with No Namers. Thank you. I appreciate you. In case I don't tell you every day, I really appreciate you. You guys are awesome. Also, I think I can speak on behalf of Rob and Dave Boys and Kyle Miller and Chris Frank and Jules and Andy. We love you guys. And we know the feeling is mutual, so thank you. And remember, you can learn English with all my friends for free every day if you have the Vaughn Radio app. Or even if you have any podcast platform, which I imagine all of you have at least the app or the platform. If you have an Apple iPhone, well, then you've already got podcasts on your phone. You've also got iVox, Spotify, which has gotten very, very popular too. Because before Spotify was popular for music, but they've really, really invested time and energy into growing as a podcast platform. And I know I can see it with FYI. They used to not be on the list. It would say, 75% Apple Podcasts, 38%, well, ya nos hemos pasado, 22%, blah, 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 3% personal devices. And you would never see Spotify in there. And now Spotify is either number 1 or number 2. So I don't know what they've done, but they seem to be really pushing those podcasts. So wherever you want to listen to, and even if you don't have a podcast platform or download it on your phone, you can listen on the Vaughn Radio app. All right, we're going to kick things off in this part of the show with our Say What soundbite. Then we're going to check your spelling bee answers. And then we're going to hear from some of you in Question of the Week. As I said, a lot of students have participated, and I am thrilled to the gills. We're going to hear from some amazing students. Brave. Hey, it's not easy to talk in front of thousands of people. Yeah, thousands of people download these episodes, not just the show with No Name, all of our programs. So no pressure. But you shouldn't think of it like that. You should think of it like I'm talking to Alberto. I'm talking to my friends. And that's kind of the secret. Like, I'm not talking to thousands of people. I'm just talking to you personally. All right. So let's listen to our Say What soundbite for the second time.
No one had ever stood up to me like that before. I respected him from there on out.
That's a great story, Grandpa. I didn't like it.
None of my grandchildren had ever disliked one of my stories before.
Damian, what's crack-a-lackin', buddy?
Hey, Alberto, I was planning to do some sports this week. What about playing baseball?
Ooh, baseball. I love it. But I'm not sure yet. Can we touch base next week?
Touch base. Estamos en contacto, ¿no? Hablamos en algún momento. Yeah, okay. Let's touch base. Okay, what about basketball? Do you want to play basketball?
Oh, man, I love basketball. It's one of my favorite sports. But I don't know if I can this weekend because I've already got plans. Oh, man, that's the way the ball bounces.
That's the way the ball bounces. Así están las cosas, ¿no? Así bota la pelota. Así bota la pelota. That's the way the ball bounces. I love that expression. Okay, what about tennis? Do you want to play tennis?
Well, I love tennis, but I'm not really a good player. If you don't mind playing with a novice, the ball's in your court, buddy.
La bola está en mi campo, ¿eh? La pelota está en mi tejado. All right. Do you want to play some soccer?
Sure, I'd love to play some soccer or football, as you call it. What time do we kick off?
Perfect. We're kicking off at 9. Are you available?
Sure, but I might have to play some golf before with some friends. It's par for the course.
It's par for the course. Es lo normal, ¿no? Es lo normalito, lo que se hace.
Mhm.
Okay, what about billiards? Do you like playing billiards?
Yeah, but right now I'm behind the 8 ball.
I'm behind the 8 ball. Estás detrás de la bola 8, como que llevas las de perder.
Yeah, wow, a lot of idiomatic expressions here.
Muy buenas expresiones. Si es que así da gusto aprender inglés con un profe como Alberto y un poquito de creatividad, tienes This Book is the Shit. El mejor libro para aprender inglés que te has echado a la cara in your life. Píllatelo, vas a disfrutar mogollón de dibujos para que lo aprendas todo fácil, con conexiones lógicas y divertidas. Es la manera más sencilla y más divertida de aprender inglés. No te la pierdas.
Damian, you're such a good sport. Te enrollas. You can pick up your copy of This Book is the Shit at
Vaughantienda.com.
It's the Shit. That's right, VaughanTienda.com, where you can pick up This Book is the Shit. You can also pick up False Friends que deberías conocer, also available at Vaughn Tienda. And we're going to take a look at your answers in just a moment. But remember, for under $10, you can have all those false friends at your fingertips. Again, as you heard in the pop quiz, with audio, with very good examples as well. So you can pick it up in person or you can pick it up online. All right, let's see who's with us in the house today, ready to rock and roll. We've got Anix. Anix checking in. What's up, Anix? She says, hello. Let's get down to business. Happy morning to everyone. Happy morning to you too, Anix. And we're looking forward to hearing from you in just a little bit. Let's see. Born to Iron Man says, what's crack-a-lackin' show with no-namers? Yeah. What's crack-a-lackin'? That's a totally native right there. Que me cuentas? All right, let's see. Elena. Elena says, wakey, eggs and bakey, no mistakey. Rise and shine, everyone. Lots of totally natives flying around today's program. Great job. Wow. We are off to an amazing start. There's Chris Valrol as well. She says, morning show with no-namers. Great to see you all. My riveting mates. What a great word. Riveting, highly entertaining, interesting. That's a great word to describe them. And I'm going to give you a totally native as well. All right. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Anix has got something to say about the Say What soundbite. She says, I heard a grandpa and 2 of his grandchildren, Americans, I'd say, he's complaining because they aren't happy about his stories or they don't want to hear about them. Perfect. Great, Anix. Great observations, and you are on the right track. So excellent. Let's see. Elena says, a sweet American grandpa telling their grandchildren a story. However, one of them seems to dislike it. Yes, and I love the however. Remember conjunctions. Sin embargo, esto hace que nuestras historias tengan más, ¿no? Se unan más las cosas. So excellent, excellent. Don't think I missed that. I saw that you're using those conjunctions as I asked you to yesterday. Awesome job, Elena. Let's see. Chris says, I heard an elderly American gentleman telling a story about respect to his grandchildren, and one of them seems to like it. Excellent. Wonderful job. All right, Born to Iron Man is participating in today's pop quiz, and he says commodity prices. Y aquí, yeah, you can say commodity. Yo creo lo mejor aquí es usarlo como adjetivo en singular. Commodity prices. Okay, so the prices of commodities, right? You can say commodities, pero ahí es que justo, oh, you're saying de los, okay, la apóstrofe es, gotcha. So commodities prices are rocketing, are skyrocketing, disparándose to skyrocket. So commodities prices are skyrocketing in the markets around the world. Great. Well, not great, but great example. If you have a greasy skin, here no empleamos el a. If you have greasy skin, okay, sin el a. If you have greasy skin, maybe you should have a facial cleansing o directamente a facial, right? You can get a facial. All right, good, excellent. Greasy skin. And then his own example of a false friend, he says, if you like martini stirred, not shaken, then don't remove it. That's a great one, sure. Remove the sauce. Que quite la salsa? No. Remove it. Oh, you're talking about stirring it. So to stir is remover algo, and to remove is quitar. They're very confusing. Great examples, Born to Iron Man. All right, Chris says, I'm sorry, I don't have the first one. It's commodity, a commodity, something that is traded, that is very common, like, as we said before, sugar, something you'll find in any kitchen. Those are called commodities. Now, the false friend there is not comodidad. That's the thing. Comodidad is convenience, right? And not to be, that one also causes confusion with comfort. So I'm really comfortable means usually it can have both meanings, really. But I'm comfortable means I'm comfy. It means, I'm on my sofa. I'm comfortable. I wouldn't say I'm convenient. Convenient es más cómodo como por sitting. I have a table right next to my sofa, a coffee table, and I keep my glasses there, my reading glasses and the remote, and it's very convenient. Es muy cómodo porque lo tengo a mano. So you see the difference? If we have to split up these words and look at the nuances, well, convenient is, bueno, el trabajo está al lado de casa. Now, I have a supermarket in front of my house. It's very convenient. Tener algo cercano, a mano. That's convenient. And we talk about, de hecho, alimentación. We call them a convenience store. All right, porque es muy cómodo. Entras, hay café, hay right? These delis, these 7-Elevens, the real name for these, you call them the chinos, is a convenience store because they have drinks, they have bread, they have, some basic things for your convenience at a not so convenient price, right? So, yes, comfort versus convenience, and a commodity que no tiene nada que ver con eso. Those are the products that we talked about before. All right, and also Born to Iron Man, you gave us skin. That's one way to say cutis, but there's an even more specific way to say de la cara, right? You can say the skin on your face, it's fine, but, All right, let's see. Chris Valrol says, so the first one, that's the first one. The second one, the complexion changes its characteristics over time. That's right. Your complexion. De hecho, yo decía tu complexión. Y la gente me miraba como, ¿qué? I'm like, la complexión, estás un poco pálido. You look a little pale, right? Your skin looks really dry. You have bags under your eyes. It's the state of your face, the skin and look of your face, right? When you don't sleep well, your complexion isn't as good, right? So, cutis. Also, if we talk about constitución, we're talking about build. So he has a big build, a husky. You know the word husky, como el perro, grandullón, right? A husky build. He's medium build or average build. Eso es que no está muy gordo ni está flaquito, right? So when we talk about cómo estás construido, piénsalo, en vez de, I used to say tu construcción en vez de tu constitución. So I get these false friends because I've come across them, but the other way around. Pero al revés, right? I always told you, for 25 years, I was walking around telling people that I was horny. I'm horny, 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 horny tonight. Horny es caliente, cachondo. Yeah, I wanted to say tengo calor. That's not what I said. So 25 years telling the old ladies in the elevator, estoy caliente. That now I know why I got such weird looks. Now I get it in retrospect. So yes, your complexion changes. We all know when you're a teenager, you get a lot of zits, right? Because your skin is oily and you're going through a lot of changes, your hormones. So teenagers don't always have the best complexion, right? No offense, teenagers. We've all been there. Okay, the next one, she says, he's a jack of all trades, as we say in Spanish, or a handyman también. Piénsalo, a handyman or a handy woman. Manitas, same word, handy, manitas. So great word there, Chris. He's a jack of all trades, as we say in Spanish. Vale para un roto y un descosido. All right. Great job. Elena says, one of Spain's basic commodities is olive oil. Absolutely. It is our blood. Es nuestra sangre. She says, my complexion is fair and delicate. So that means she has la piel delicada, and fair is más no tan morena, like lighter skin. If you have fair skin, you have light skin. Great word there. Excellent. So she says, my complexion is fair and delicate. And then she says, Johnny always carries a rubber, not preservative, in case he picks up a girl. That's true. I remember the first time I heard that one. Like, ¿tienes preservativos? I'm like, excuse me? I'm like, for us, they're conservantes. So food, a lot of junk food has a lot of preservatives in it, right? To preserve it, to make it last longer on a shelf, right? So to give it a longer shelf life, como decimos, preservatives. Oh yeah, I remember hearing that. I'm like, preservativos. I'm like, why are these guys so interested in, they were teenage boys, in Almeria, and they're like, oh yeah, los preservativos. I'm like, the fuck is these guys work in food science or what? It was confusing for me. So again, I have bumped into all of these false friends myself. And also, careful with that word, because a rubber in British English is an eraser. Que usas para borrar. Do you have a rubber? But if I ask you if you have a rubber in English, whoa, what's coming next. So good, great one. Great examples, guys. All right, and Chris says, oh my God, it seems I misunderstood the last pop quiz question. I understood a synonym for wild card. No, it's a wild card means carte blanche. You can do whatever you want for that one. Let me see if there are any other ones that I wanted to point out over here, because I've highlighted a couple of them. Casualidad. What a casualty. No. What a coincidence. Que tenéis la palabra coincidencia. Entonces, es cuestión de pensar en coincidencia más que el otro, right? What a coincidence. Casualty, baja, pérdida, muerte. So careful with that one. Another one, carpeta. Is it carpet? How do we say carpeta? Carpeta is folder. And what is carpet then? Alfombra o moqueta, right? What about compromiso? Oh, es un compromiso. it's an obligation or a commitment, right? Tengo muchos compromisos. But in English, to compromise is to reach an agreement, to give and take. Okay? All relationships, there's some kind of compromise, right? Delito. How do we say it? Delight? No, a delight is something awesome. It's delightful. Delito is a crime. Okay? What about desgracia? Vaya desgracia. Misfortune. Bad luck. Desgracia. So what is disgrace? If somebody tells you you're a disgrace, eres una vergüenza. You're a disgrace, man. Another one, disgusto. Vaya disgusto. He pasado un disgusto. Worry. Right? Estoy disgustado. I'm worried. I'm upset. Right? But if I'm disgusted, asqueado. Right? So again, these words are words that you'll see pretty often. Right? What about this one? Dormitory. ¿Es un dormitorio? Bueno, de universidad. Right? We say the dorms, the dormitory, que no es bedroom. Right? So even something like that. I think one of the ones I remember coming into contact with in class was embarazada, que no es embarrassed. And I'll never forget it. I was talking to a student. I can't remember her name, but I can see her face right now when I close my eyes. And she started we were talking about what I thought was, how do we deal with it when we get embarrassed in life? You know, what are some techniques, you know, to get that confidence? And she started telling me, oh, when I get embarrassed, last time I was embarrassed, I was throwing up. I was losing weight. I'm like, what? Wow, this is a violent reaction to being embarrassed. And about after 15, 20 minutes, we realized she was talking about being pregnant and I was talking about being avergonzado. Vaya tela, what fabric. All right, amigos, we have got to move on, though. It is time for Homophones on the Show with No Name.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. We look at tons of homophones here on the show. Even if the words aren't homophones, I'm sure we'll find some like we did yesterday. Another section where we look at homophones too is in our You're Joking section. Naturally, a lot of jokes come from words with double meanings or words that sound the same and are spelled differently, which is the case of our homophones. So I think these words are not too foreign. You know, sometimes I give you words, I'm like, esta la van a tener que buscar. Today, I don't think you're going to have to look them up. I don't think so, but we'll see. The first one is morir. Morir. And be careful, because no la confundamos, luego lo aclaramos entre la muerte, que es sustantivo, morir, que es el verbo que estamos mirando, y muerto, adjetivo. There's 3 different words, right? Bueno, en español también, pero hay mucha confusión ahí. Pero don't worry, we will clear it up. This is the verb we're looking for, morir. It also means dado. No, not given, dado. Dado if you play a game, right? We play games here, board games, y muchos tienen un dado, okay? So the word dado and morir is the same word? Yeah. I smell a double trouble in the future there. Va a tirar el dado antes de morir. Wow, it even sounds poetic. All right, so that is your first word. It is morir, okay? And también lo usamos, muero por hacer tal cosa, so we'll look at that structure, lo mismo que muero por ir a Disneylandia, whatever, okay? But we'll take a look at it. And the second word is a noun and a verb, which is good because it's got multiple uses, as we can see. And the noun is tinte, también colorante. Tinte o colorante, same kind of idea. And then it's the verb teñir, pigmentar, tintar. All right, so that is your second word. Again, the first one, I know everybody's got to know that first word, I think. Or it's like one of those words that you learn. The second one, we shall see. But folks, I can't believe it. We have got to go to another commercial break. We are halfway through the show, and we still have a lot of stuff to do. So when we come back, we'll take a look at our Say What soundbite for the third time. We'll check your homophones, and we'll get into our question of the week and hear from some of you, my amigos. And as I said, a special shout out to Anix, Cristina Chicago, Chris Valrol, Daniela, Marisol, Elena, Alfonso, and Nuria. You make me proud. So you know what I'm going to say. Why don't you help me? Folks, don't even think of going anywhere. 3, 2, 1, stick around. Don't forget to follow us on social media. Just search for Grupo Vaughan or Grupo Vaughn. Pronounce it however you will. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to this, the second half of today's show with No Name here on Vaughn Radio. A couple reminders, follow us on social media. Also, join us at our upcoming trivia night, October 7th, 2025 at 8 p.m., hosted by Jules Linares. Also, don't forget about all the other amazing programs you can have fun and learn with here on Vaughn Radio. Starting your day with the Pro Bow Show with Rob Grams. And right after that, you can join Fitz in a master class. He trained all of us, formó a todos. Then you've got the Lunchtime Show with Rob and Andy for a bit of real banter. They can't fake it. No way. After that, you've got Jules Linares and Let's Get Random. You can also learn English with Ruby. After that, you've got The Salad with Dave Boyce. And boy, are you going to have a great time. Then you've got Kyle Miller and Drive Time, followed by Chris Frank in Frankly Speaking. You've also got The Hour to Empower with Jessica Fernandez. And the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Richard Vaughn in Richard Vaughn Live. Just download the free Vaughn Radio app and learn along with us. All right, amigos, let's kick off the second half of the show with our third listen of today's Say What soundbite. Here it is, amigos.
No one had ever stood up to me like that before. I respected him from there on out.
That's a great story, Grandpa. I didn't like it.
None of my grandchildren had ever disliked one of my stories before.
Listen carefully. Can you hear that? No. Listen closer. I'm not talking about the birds chirping. I'm talking about everybody speaking English and feeling comfortable. Listen. This is what it's like at Vaughn Town, a peaceful place where you can really learn English and lose your inhibitions. There's a reason it's one of our star programs. Vaughn Town, lose your fear of speaking English. If you want more information about this immersive experience, go to grupovaughn.com or give us a call, 911-385831. Lose your fear of speaking English and express yourself with clarity at Vaughn Town. If you want more information about Vaughn Town, you can go over to grupovaughn.com. All right, well, folks, it looks like we have got a Say What soundbite winner. Please give it up for Elena. Nice job, Elena. All right, let's take a look at these homophones or not. Let's see what you guys had to say. Elena gives us the two words correctly, and she says they are hands down homophones. Que nadie lo va a discutir. Hands down. You smell that? That's a totally native, right? So hands down. There's no doubt in her mind, basically. All right, Born to Iron Man agrees. Anix agrees. Chris Valrol as well. So I'm not going to disagree with them. Also because they're right. Not because I'm not going to disagree with them. So yes, the first word is die. Okay? It's a regular verb. Every day, someone dies. Yesterday, someone died. Lately, people have died. So die, died, died. Se añade una D, perfect. The problem is, even my daughter, the other day, she said, oh, look, the lizard is death. And I said, no, he's dead, right? He's dead. So even, it's a hard concept there. So dead, he's dead, está muerto. He died, ha muerto, right? He has died or he died en inglés americano, porque no usamos el presente perfecto tanto como los ingleses. And people are afraid of death, not the death, la muerte, sino death. All right. So I think I told you guys about this, and I think I even put it in one of my books. I used to walk around with a die. Now, the plural's dice, dice in Spanish, but I used to walk around with a die, and I would ask people, you want to die? And people would look at me like, what's wrong with this kid? And maybe they thought I was going to shoot up the school or something. And then I would pull the die out of my pocket and say, here. You want to die? I also used to do it with a screw. Do you catch that one? So llevaba un tornillo, and I used to say, hey, I'd walk up to a hot girl, una tía buena, and I'd say, hey, you want a screw? And just before she was about to slap me in the face, soltarme un guantazo, I would pull out the screw and say, here, do you want a screw? Do you want to screw? ¿Quieres tricky? I know. My maturity levels know no bounds. No saben límites de mi madurez. So, hey, funny little jokes, but hey, if it helps you remember, you want to die? Y le das a la persona un dado. The plural again is dice, okay? And also, I'm dying to. Yo me como la G porque soy americano, nos comemos la G. I am dying to meet her. Muero por conocerle. So we also use it like you guys as well. And that second word, dye, well, some people dye their hair. Some people dye their shirts. Remember the hippies? They have the tie-dye, porque los atan, with rubber bands. I used to make tie-dyes with my friends, when we were growing up. So dye. You've got food dye, which avoid that shit. You don't need colors in your food, not fake ones. So food dye, esta es la alimenticia, right? And again, it's the actual stuff. So I have to buy some more hair dye so I can dye my hair. Okay. I need to dye this dress because it faded. Perder el color is to fade. So what can I say except awesome job? The first one is D-I-E, que creo que lo sabes, y la segunda es D-Y-E, D-Y-E. German, there's German. Good morning, guys. Morning to you too, sir. He says, if you dye my hair red, I'm gonna die. Excellent example. I'm dying to dye it purple. All right, excellent job. Now it's time to hear from you, Show with No Namers, in our question of the week.
Question of the week.
All right, it is question of the week time, and this week we had a light one, a frivolous one, a fun one, and I wanted you to tell me your favorite snack when you were a kid, and if you still enjoy that snack nowadays, hoy en día. So first and foremost, we are going to hear from a student who participates every week, and you can tell. Y se nota. Let's hear from Anix.
Morning, this is Anix. Well, I have a sweet tooth and I also have a weakness for chocolate.
Excellent. She said, I have a sweet tooth, soy golosa, and I have a weakness, buena palabra, debilidad, for chocolate. Y fijaos, no ha dicho chocolate, ha dicho chocolate. Hay que decir dos palabras, choc, que es tiza, C-H-A-L-K, and then lit, encendido, L-I-T, chocolate. Excellent, Anix. Let's continue.
And when I was a child, my favorite snack was a chocolate bar. But the coolest thing about it was that you can find a kind of card with it where you
A card, un cromo, right? You call them cromos, a card.
can learn about natural history. I mean, geology, you can learn about animals and
Wow.
about plants. And since I'm a nerd, I love
Soy una empollona, since I'm a nerd.
learning too. And I'm afraid nobody's gonna know it because if you can remember, I was born and raised in Colombia, but it was so cool. And you're right, Alberto, this is a trip down memory lane. Okay, bye bye.
A trip down memory lane. Se está dando un pasaje, un paseo por el pasado. And have you guys heard of them? It sounds like a great idea. You get a chocolate bar and you get to learn some fun facts about the world around you. All right, well, Anix has added something on because something happened afterwards. Let's continue.
Hi, Alberto, it's me again. Sorry to bother you, but I want to let you know something cool that happened to me when I was recording Question of the Week. I was telling you about the snack and the cards that you can find with it. And but I don't mentioned that you can
I didn't mention. I don't mention es no suelo mencionar. I didn't mention. Seguimos.
also can buy a book, a special book where you store the cards.
Yeah, like a collector's book. Excellent.
So I decided to look for the image just to let you know how it was. And
To let you know what it looked like.
the immediately moment I saw the picture of it, I felt the smell of the album. It was so cool. And it was a really, really trip down to memory lane, thanks to you. Okay, bye bye.
Yeah, it's incredible, huh? Excellent job, Anix. It's incredible how much smell, how strong of a reminder smell is. Well, somebody told me the other day, somebody at my daughter's bus stop, not a scientist or a doctor, but somebody who studied the five senses, a teacher, in fact, And they said, well, smell is the only sense that goes directly to your brain, or it's the one that goes to your brain the fastest or something. She said something along those lines. I said, oh, it makes sense. Because for some reason, when we smell something, okay, music, you hear a song, you're like, oh, I'm back in second grade, but there's something about that smell. And yeah, hey, she collected cards. She ate her favorite chocolate snack, and she also learned about the world around her. Sounds like an awesome snack and a productive one at that. All right, next up, we've got Cristina, Chicago.
Good morning, Alberto. This is Christina from Chicago.
What energy?
Didn't forget you. Just because I was busy. We started school, in August. It's a left off, like you always say, like left off.
Yeah, in Chicago, they start in August.
So I was a little bit like confused at the beginning. But I didn't forget you. So for the week's question of the week, my favorite snack. Okay, so nowadays I can't talk about my favorite snack because it's more like almond milk with protein powder.
Almond milk with protein powder. Go easy, killer.
Just to stay healthy. And I don't think that's my best memory. So go back then.
Tofu and Brussels sprouts. Col de broset, right?
When I used to go, to my dad's town, in Segovia. So I used to have like that thick bread that it was like round. And I put, like butter came, from the cow directly, from the milk. It was that fat. And then I added sugar and Nutella. Like it was like a bomb.
Wait, you got Nutella and then added sugar and butter to it? Okay, well, you were destined to live in the United States, Cristina. You fit right in there.
I wish I could eat that nowadays, but I can't.
We'll die.
Otherwise, I would be like
we'll all die.
Like a little elephant, walking. But that's my best memory, talking about, snacks. And that's all. And thank you so much, always for you, what you do. And I'll be here. I'll be there
to give you all the loving you need. So, yeah, wow. And look at that. She associated it to her grandpa and the village. So, there's something about that homemade bread, that butter that was churned that morning that makes it taste like gold. So excellent job, Cristina, Chicago. And I hope the rest of the month is smooth sailing for you. Que te vaya sin problemas. Excellent job, Cristina, Chicago. Up next, we've got Chris Valrol, our movie queen.
Morning, Show with No-Namers. Chris Valrol here. I can't remember if I had a favorite snack. I mean, I've always had a hearty appetite.
Healthy, right? Como si, un poco raro, you said healthy, like hell como infierno, healthy.
And a sweet tooth.
Another one with a sweet tooth.
So I used to have a good sandwich as a snack, and afterwards a pastry.
Pastry, right? A pastry, un pastel, un tipo de estos, like the French ones we were talking about. So just be careful. Pastry.
From time to time. I used to like tigretón and donuts, among others.
Now you're making me drool.
Tigretón is a rolled sponge cake filled with cream and jam and chocolate topping, covering. Although I'm still...
Cuidado, although, sacamos la lengua un poco más, although...
Still sweet-toothed, it's been ages since I've had a tigretón.
It's been ages, siglos han pasado. Really good, Chris.
I'm sure I can eat it without any problem. But nowadays,
without guilt.
I prefer food that is less sweet. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I guess that's the way, too. When you're a kid, also, you don't make your decisions. You're like, this tastes good. It gives me energy. I want one, right? But as you get older, you're like, it has what in it? 75 ingredients? I don't think that's good for you. Anything like that. So excellent, Chris. And I know what the tigretones are. I put them in the same category as the Pantera Rosa, those kind of snacks that are extremely unhealthy. and extremely processed, but absolutely delicious. To die for, usando la palabra de antes. In fact, my dad, if you guys want to see something cool, something yummy and not good for you, go to Drake's Cakes. If you Google Drake's Cakes, my dad used to work there. And yeah, we used to always have those kind of things around the house. I was very popular. Everyone's like, let's go to Alberto's house. He's always got Drake's Cakes. And Drake's Cakes made yodels, ring dings, all those kind of little pre-packaged sweets that are not good for you, but absolutely delicious. So Chris has outgrown it. And I think like Christina Chicago as well, the older you get, the less crap you want to put into your body, you know? All right. Excellent job so far. I've got to say, the ladies are kicking ass. Anix and the two Chrises from either side of the Atlantic. All right. We're going to hear from Daniela now.
Hi, guys. Daniela speaking. Well, when I think back to my childhood, I have to be honest and say that I only have like very fond memories.
Think back. Me encanta. Cuando rememorar. Pensar hacia atrás. When I think back. Excellent phrasal verb, Daniela.
Even though communism didn't offer too much back in the day.
Communism. Yeah. I read something about communism the other day. Show me one example of where communism worked. I'll wait. Aquí me quedo esperando.
It was actually a pretty tough era. So unless you came from a rich family who could just pull some strings to get things, we didn't have to
pull some strings, recurrir a enchufes. Excellent.
Many options. So our snacks would be just a piece of dry bread on which we would maybe pour some water and sprinkle some sugar if we had any.
Wow. So see, it depends where you grew up too. She's like, we had sugar, water, and bread, and we were excited about it.
And that's it. And we were the happiest under the sun.
Absolutely.
We just could enjoy freedom and spending all the time we wanted outdoors, and it was great. We felt happy.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I find that, when you go to countries that aren't as first world as the United States or England or, France, well, you notice people seem to be happier. I don't know, call me crazy, but when I was in Cambodia, I saw more smiles, genuine smiles from these people who had nothing. So I guess when you have nothing too, you learn to appreciate everything. There's always pros and cons to everything. Very interesting, Daniela. Let's continue.
We weren't stressed out, even though, as I said before, we didn't have too many options when it comes to foods.
And also, you know what we say? Mo money, mo problems. Right. It's like the more money we come across, the more problems we see. I don't know what. So yeah, there's something about that simple life where you really appreciate the little things, Daniela. So fascinating.
Yeah, but we were happy. Well, that's it, guys. Bye.
Excellent. Thank you so much, too, for sharing that, She said we would be happy with anything, as long as it was a little bit sweet. So wonderful stuff. All of you have done a wonderful job. We still have to hear from Marisol, Elena, Alfonso, and Nuria. But before we hit our final commercial break, let's kick a little challenge into our final part here. It is double trouble. Yeah.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
Double, sing it with me. Double trouble. Come on. I said double trouble. Yeah. All right, I know we've looked at this idiomatic expression. The question is, do you remember it or not? All right, vamos a ver, vamos por partes. Tenemos que poner orden o limar los detalles. Okay? I think you would say rematar too, right? So, quedan cosas, arrugas, cosas, I'm trying to help you, quedan arrugas que hay que pasar por encima, ¿no? Que no está el plan hecho todavía. So, tenemos que poner orden a las cosas, ¿no? Limar los detalles, ponía, ¿ok? Y hay que aprovechar el momento adecuado, ¿no? La oportunidad adecuada. ¿Okay? Esto es algo que dice que en la vida tú no decides cuando vienen oportunidades. Entonces hay que aprovechar cuando vienen esas oportunidades, right? So, tenemos que poner orden a los detalles, las cosas, limar los detalles y hay que aprovechar el momento adecuado, la oportunidad adecuada. Let's see, I see you guys are all cheering each other on. I love it, really. It's excellent to see you guys encouraging each other and supporting each other. I won't read all the comments, but in general, it's bravo, excellent job, you kicked ass. I will read this one. Elena says, thanks, Daniela, for sharing. Gracias por compartir. And I'm giving it to you because it's got a totally native. She says, you were wearing your it's a typo, your heart on your sleeve. Y esto es una expresión que creo que lo hemos mirado, ¿eh? To wear your heart on your sleeve is to be sincere, to not hide anything. Mira, tengo el corazón aquí en la manga, o sea, no lo escondo mis emociones, lo que siento. So excellent. Wow, what a great idiomatic expression. You smell it too? Totally native. So to wear your heart on your sleeve. And that is precisely what Daniela did. All right, folks, so there it is. You've got your double trouble. Tenemos que poner orden para limar los detalles. Y hay que aprovechar el momento adecuado, la oportunidad adecuada. I know we've looked at it before. And if you didn't get it the first time, that's the whole idea. That's why you look at things several times in order to review them. Porque a la primera dices, me gusta. Pero a lo mejor no, o sea, se te olvida. A la segunda, sí, esta me gustaba. Pero a lo mejor lo entiendes ya, pero no lo usas todavía. So exposure, that's the key. Exposing you to all these idiomatic expressions and phrasal verbs that are in common use. That's why we look at movies and music and all that jazz. All right, amigos. So we'll take a look at that double trouble. We'll also listen to our Say What soundbite for the fourth time, plus question of the week, a few more students, movies, famous birthdays, and so much more in the fourth and final part of today's show with No Name. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. righty, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to the fourth and final part of today's show with No Name. And by the way, thank you to all of you who participate in the question of the week, because many of you don't just send me an audio note, but you also send me a beautiful message. Like Nuria. She says, I hope you're doing well. I send a special shout out to you and your loved ones. Thank you, Nuria. Let's see. Alfonso. Hi, Alberto. Find attached my recording about snacks. I'm very happy to hear the show with No Name again. Fresh episodes. Guys, thank you. Elena said, great to be back again. Full of beans, con mucha energía, and thankful to be a part of your show again. Guys, what can I say? Chris, morning, Alberto. Here's my audio. Thank you. See ya. Hugs and kisses. Wow. Anix, hey, Alberto. How's it going? Really, I appreciate all your comments. I love how you love the show and you enjoy our time together as much as I do. It's great. Thank you. We have that synergy among us, entre nosotros. All right, we are going to kick off with the Say What soundbite. Elena already figured it out, but we'll see if anybody else can figure it out as well. Are you ready? Here it is for the fourth and final time.
No one had ever stood up to me like that before. I respected him from there on out.
That's a great story, Grandpa. I didn't like it.
None of my grandchildren had ever disliked one of my stories before.
Alberto, viene Tom Cruise al hormiguero y tengo que decirle una cosa. Tengo que decirle, vamos al lío. ¿Cómo se lo digo?
Vamos al lío, tío. Eso es facilísimo. Piensa en la canción de DJ Tiesto. Let's get down to business. Give me one more time
together.
Let's get down
to business. Let's get down to business. Ah, lo sabía, pero no sabía que lo sabía. Aprende inglés con canciones, películas, videojuegos, series, personajes, onomatopeyas. Todas las cosas que te rodean están en inglés, pero no te das cuenta de que ya las tienes en la cabeza. Solamente hay que colocarlas. Y para eso, utiliza nuestro tercer libro, This Book is the Shit, por Alberto Alonso
y Damián Moya.
Así da gusto aprender.
Oh, yeah. That's right, folks. This book is the shit. You can pick it up at Vaughn Tienda or wherever fine books are sold. Also, feel free to stop in if you're in any of our cities, such as Madrid, Barcelona, Bilbao, Vigo, Valladolid, Valencia, Santander, or Zaragoza. We'd love to meet you face to face, in person. All right, let's see if anybody figured out our double trouble. Tenemos que poner orden / limar los detalles, ¿no? Organizar, rematar. Y hay que aprovechar el momento adecuado o la oportunidad adecuada. Let's take a look over here. Elena, she says, we need to iron out things and hit when the iron is hot. All right, I'm going to give it to you. Now, I haven't heard hit. Yo siempre lo he oído, no digo que no, pero yo siempre lo he oído con strike, que es lo mismo, ¿no? To strike and to hit. They're synonyms, pero esto como es frase hecha. A ver, let's see. Hit while the iron is hot. Hit. I'm sure it's used. It's the same thing. While iron is hot. A ver. Yeah, y me salen todos strike. So, you know what? Vamos a quedarnos con strike porque no, aunque puse en Google to hit while the iron is hot, todos lo que me salen pone to strike. All right? So, but excellent. Wow, you remembered it. You just got a different word in there. Yeah, to iron out. I always say, vamos a planchar, right? Quitar las arrugas. Piénsalo para que todo esté perfecto, para que esté listo para, como una camiseta, para ponerse, ¿no? Para usar. So, to iron out the details. That's right. To iron out. Now, it's weird because we wouldn't just say to iron the details. Es phrasal verb. So tiene que ir con out. Y esto es otra vez, resolve, right? Poner en orden, limar, okay? And also it comes from the verb to iron. No es iron, sino iron. Yo gano, iron, okay? I am Iron Man. All right, and you're seeing, le ves ahí planchando. So we have to strike while the iron is hot. And think of a blacksmith. Un herrero, you say? A blacksmith. You can hit that iron all day. It's not going to budge. It's not going to move. You're actually going to hurt yourself hitting that iron. Now, when the iron is hot, that's when you got to hit it. That's when you got to strike it, to use the word in the idiomatic expression. So excellent job. I'll just change the word hit to strike. Let's see. Chris Valrol says we need to put things in order or iron out the details, and we have to hit when the iron is hot. So it's to strike while the iron is hot. Strike while the iron is hot is la expresión, but excellent. See what I told you before? I go, you recognize it, you know it, it's in there, but not 100% yet. Well, that just means you needed to be exposed to it one or two more times. So there you go. Excellent job. You got it. We just have to iron out those little details that, yes, even though the verb hit is a synonym for strike, this is a set phrase, una frase hecha. Excellent, excellent job there. Chris says, absolutely. Daniela's story touched my heart. Absolutely touching. No doubt about it. Also, Chris got today's Say What soundbite as well, joining Elena on the podium. Excellent job. Annick says, tidy up the details and catch the right wave at the right wave. I love it. But the one we were looking for is to iron out the details, right? Piénsalo, there's some bumps, right? We said smooth. The idea is smooth means everything's great. Everything's going the way it should be. So if you have wrinkles, they're synonymous with bumps in the road, no? Cosas que vienen por el camino, not only physically speaking, but figuratively speaking. All right, so excellent job to our students in our Double Trouble. Let's hear from some more students in our question of the week. It is Marisol's turn.
Hi, it's Marisol. I hope all of you had a great summer. I'm still waiting for my holiday. It will be in 2 weeks.
You poor thing. You must be dying, chomping at the bit. La expresión chomping at the bit. Estás que no aguantas.
Looking forward. Referring to the question
Sería looking forward to it. Hay que terminar la frase. Looking forward to it.
of the week, I remember eating a brioche and inside gallons of chocolate.
Oh, Lord.
It was delicious. We used to eat it in the playground, school.
The playground, el patio donde juegan, right?
Sometimes in the evening. It wasn't disapproved years ago whatsoever. Nowadays, probably you won't do it because of the sugar, etc.
Yeah, now we're more health conscious, ¿no? Más conscientes de la salud y los ingredientes.
It's not healthy, But it was delicious. Greetings to all showing NoNamers. Bye.
Excellent job. Yeah, again, too, when you're a kid, you decide, but you don't really decide. Because you tell your mom, I want Twinkies. And your mom's like, all right, but you can't eat Twinkies all day. But also in my house now, for example, we don't buy that shit. And if we don't buy it, Lara or us don't eat it. Because I can't tell my daughter, don't eat potato chips as I'm munching on some potato chips. That's not how it works. So we have to lead by example. But it's true. We have come a long way. Hemos progresado mucho en saber ahora que no nos engañen con comida basura. And, back then when we were kids, there weren't healthy options. Well, have a banana. But sometimes I don't want a banana. I want an extra chocolatey, sugary thing. I get it. In fact, these things are designed. They are tailor-made, hechos a medida, to have just the perfect amount of sugar, the sweet spot, as we call it. just the perfect amount of salt, spice, whatever it is, so that your tongue craves more, right? Your taste buds crave, ansian, tienen el mono para comer más. That's why Pringles even told you, you can't eat just one. Oh, no, we studied it. You can't. Your mouth, your taste buds are going to beg you for more, right? So that's incredible when they were able to learn to make food addictive, just like it was a drug. That's crazy. That is insane if you think about it. All right, let's see. Who have we got up next? It's Elena.
Hello, everyone. This is Elena. First of all, I just want to send regards to my classmates and to UAA. I hope you had a wonderful vacation and welcome back. As to what my favorite childhood snack is or was, I have to say Pop Rocks.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Did you say Pop Rocks? Oh, man, you call them petacetas. We call them Pop Rocks. Now, let me explain something. This was a turning point, right? I mean, let's be honest. Candy is candy is candy. This was like, what? They explode in your mouth? Oh, my Lord. All right. That gimmick was great. And then they taste good, too. I love Pop Rocks. Oh, I forgot about them.
Was my go-to snack as a child.
My go-to, el que siempre decantaba, me tiraba por esa.
It's a kind of candy you put in your mouth, and when it starts melting, it goes, hence its name, in your mouth. It's a tingling sensation that gives you that instant rush.
Tingling, que te da cosquilleo, tingling, and it gives you a rush, subidon, not just because of the tingling, but all the sugar. Oh, God. I used to make my mom buy me like the whole box of Pop Rocks. I'm like, Mom, with my allowance, mi paga, I want just Pop Rocks.
And I don't know whether it's healthy or not, as most of candy, but it definitely caused some stir back in the day and it had a bad rap. But it had a comeback, and honestly, my mouth still waters when I think of it. I tried it again like a couple of months ago.
My daughter calls them explotivos, by the way.
Oh, so yummy. Oh boy, am I craving? I loved it. Guys, take care and catch you later.
Oh, God. You just made me crave Pop Rocks. Oh, man. I mean, there was nothing like that because, you've got your sugary stuff and your sour stuff, el ácido. But this was like, it did something different to your mouth, and they even use Pop Rocks nowadays in like these fancy cocktails. So they are a special breed, una raza especial. All right, Elena, thanks for taking me way back. All right, next up, we've got Alfonso.
Hi, Alberto. This is Alfonso from Ruby.
Ruby in the house.
I am very pleased to hear from you after the summertime. When I was a child, snacks were not very common. I mainly remember donuts, bollicaos, tigretones, and other Bimbo products. Nowadays, I no longer eat those, as I'm getting older. Back then, however, I used to enjoy donuts.
Donuts, right? You're saying it. I know you're saying it a la española, but donuts. All right.
Always from the bakery rather than
bakery, porque viene del verbo to bake, hornear.
The supermarket. Best regards and congratulations on your excellent program.
Thank you very much, Alfonso. Yeah, those were the ones. Bimbo, right? Here in Spain, it was Bimbo. In the United States, it was Drake's, Little Debbie. These were some of the big ones. Hostess, they're the ones who made Twinkies. Those were the big ones, the big sugary companies. Again, I imagine that they've lost some market share. I imagine people now will go for a healthier snack in general as a population, I mean. Okay. But there's still a market. I mean, they wouldn't be selling them. They wouldn't be in supermarkets if they weren't selling them. They would discontinue the product. In fact, they tried to discontinue Twinkies. Twinkies, ¿cómo lo explico? Twinkie is Pantera Rosa sin la parte rosa. Yeah, there you go. And, whoa, man, when they discontinued or tried to discontinue them, there was a shitstorm. People were like, you don't take away our Twinkies. Oh, my Lord. All right, let's see who we've got last, but certainly not least. It's Nudia.
Hi there, Alberto and Seguin NoNamers. Long time no see. This is Nuria, and it's all my pleasure to share with you all the question of this week in this new season. But first things first, happy belated birthday to your lovely daughter Laura. That
Lara,
being
thank you.
said, thinking about my favorite childhood snack takes me on a nice trip down memory lane. Out of the blue, what comes to my mind
Out of the blue, como de la nada, sin pensarlo mucho.
is suizo. I don't know how to define it. It's
Suizo.
a kind of sugary snack with little nutritional value, but it was so tasty. Sorry, but I couldn't help it. Or that Chupa Chups Big Bubble strawberry flavor that satisfied my sweet tooth and provide me hours of fun.
And provided.
That's all, folks, for now. Take care, amigos. Thank you.
Great, guys. All of you collectively did a wonderful job. Keep up the great work, and we look forward to hearing you in next week's Question of the Week. But right now, it's time for Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie here on the show with no name. Let's see if you recognize today's Name That Movie. You might if you know this IP. IP stands for intellectual property. Okay? Como Mickey Mouse, como estas cosas. All right? Callum Lynch. ¿Te suena el nombre? Callum Lynch explores the memories of his ancestor, antepasado, Aguilar de Nerja. ¿Nerja? Like Cuevas de Nerja? Bueno, es con H. Aguilar de Nerja, and gains the skills of a master assassin. Oh, we were talking about dying before. Before taking on the secret Templar Society. Woohoo! Sounds like a movie here. Callum Lynch explores the memories, recuerdos, of his ancestor, antepasado, and gains the skills, las habilidades, of a master assassin, a murderer, a killer. Before taking on, enfrentándose a, before taking on the secret Templar, the Knights Templar, ¿no? Los Caballeros Templar, Society, sociedad. Vamos a pronunciar esa palabra, society, society, no society, es una A. So Ellen Kay says, we've won, hemos ganado. People no longer care about their civil liberties. Nadie le importa ya sus libertades civiles, ¿no? Básicos. They care about their standard of life, su estándar de vida. The modern world has outgrown notions like freedom. And to outgrow, lo vimos, que ya se te ha quedado pequeño, ¿no? Ya no te interesa. We talked about it with the snacks. They're content to follow. Están contentos con seguir. Okay, como borregos. They're talking about being a sheep. And then Alan says, the threat remains, la amenaza sigue, while free will exists, mientras tenemos la voluntad, right? Libre. For centuries, we've tried with religion, with politics, and now consumerism to eliminate dissent. And dissent es voces contrarias. Isn't it time we gave science a try? ¿No es hora que intentamos con la ciencia? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Chris Valrol. It's Assassin's Creed. Came out in 2016, and it stars Michael Fassbender, Jeremy Irons. What? Plancha? Hey, we looked at that word before. All right, folks, it's time for famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Famous birthdays for him. Famous birthdays
All right. Well, number one, I just said his name a second ago. His last name is Planchas. We'd already learned the word to iron out, to strike while the iron is hot. Well, this is the guy's last name. That's why I did it. And he is an award-winning actor. He's done everything. He was in Assassin's Creed. Today's named that movie. He was also in Die Hard with a Vengeance. He was in Kafka. He was in The Mission, Betrayal, and many, many more. This guy is an eminence in the world of acting. Number two, this guy and his group, the Righteous Brothers, had some of the greatest songs ever. Okay? Songs such as "You've Lost That Lovin' Feeling," "Whoa, That Lovin' Feeling," and "Unchained Melody" too. And "Oh, my love, my darling, I've hungered for your touch." Oh, man, great stuff. And last but not least, this guy played Batman in the 1960s TV series. And he's quite a character. And in fact, he's become a character on Family Guy, where he plays the mayor, but the mayor has the same name. So he plays himself. So this guy has almost become a caricature of himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. It's Chris Valrol. Number one is Jeremy Irons, and he does a lot of other chores too. Bill Medley, ritmo, a medley of the music, and Adam West. And that's going to take us over to our Say What soundbite. This is Adam West in Family Guy playing Mayor, Alcalde Adam West. And it's him as an old man talking to his grandchildren. And he says, "No one had ever stood up to me like that before. Nadie se defendió, no? Se proclamó contra mí." To stand up to me is like defenderse. No one had ever stood up to me like that before. And I respected him from there on out. Desde ahí para adelante. Okay? From there on out. And one of the kids says, "That's a great story, Grandpa." And the other kid says, "I didn't like it." And he says, "None of my grandchildren had ever disliked one of my stories before." Here he is, Adam West.
No one had ever stood up to me like that before. I respected him from there on out.
That's a great story, Grandpa. I didn't like it.
None of my grandchildren had ever disliked one of my stories before.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name. The show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It is Name That Lyric. And thank you to all of you for your effort, your energy, for getting what we do here on Vaughn Radio every day with this edutainment thing where we're trying to entertain you as we teach you, because we really, really believe that learning should be a fun thing and not a chore. Speaking of ironing. So if you want anything, courses, classes, things for self-study, you can stop by our website, grupovaughn.com. And today's song is Unchained Melody by Temazo. Now, we're going to do the original version here, not the Elvis version. But, wow, it's hard to decide there because Elvis wins. But the original is amazing as well. So you can Google Unchained Melody, and the group is called the Righteous Brothers. It is a beautiful song, and I'm sure many of you will be familiar with it. So sing along with me as we say goodbye. Thank you so much. my love, my darling. I've hungered for your touch a long, lonely time. Sing it! In time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine? I need your love.